Hello and welcome, I'm Elena. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation with your partner, a conversation that feels incredibly important to you, and you look into their eyes, and you can just tell they're not really there? Maybe they're nodding along, but their eyes are distant. Maybe they're checking their phone, or they're quick to interrupt with a solution before you've even finished explaining the problem. And in that moment, a feeling of deep loneliness washes over you. You're with the person you love most in the world, yet you feel completely alone. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you are not alone in feeling that way. So many of the couples I advise come to me with this exact problem. They say, Elena, we talk but we don't communicate. It feels like we're speaking two different languages. This breakdown in communication is one of the most common and painful issues a relationship can face. But here is the promise I want to make you today. This is fixable. The gap between you can be closed. In this video, we're not just going to talk about communication. We are going to break down the exact patterns that are causing this disconnect, and more importantly, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide to learning the single most powerful relationship skill, active listening. By the end of our time together, you will have the tools to transform your conversations from a source of conflict into a source of connection. So, let's begin by understanding the problem. The first step is to identify the destructive patterns that may have crept into your relationship. I want you to think of your communication like a dance. When it works, it's fluid and beautiful, but often we step on each other's toes without even realizing it. There are a few common missteps. The first destructive pattern is what I call the fixer. This happens when one partner, often with the best intentions, jumps to offer solutions before the other has had a chance to fully express their feelings. Imagine you come home after a terrible day at work. You start to explain how your boss embarrassed you in a meeting. You need to vent, you need empathy, but before you can get it all out, your partner says, well, you should just report him to HR, or next time you should do this. While they think they're helping, what you actually hear is, your feelings are not as important as my solution. Let's wrap this up. It invalidates your experience and shuts down the emotional connection. The second pattern is the defender. This is when any complaint or bid for connection is met with defensiveness. You might say, honey, it hurt my feelings that you forgot about our dinner plans, and the immediate response is, well, I've been incredibly busy at work, you have no idea the pressure I'm under. Instead of hearing your pain, they hear an attack and their walls go up. This creates a cycle where it becomes unsafe to voice any negative emotion, so you either stop sharing or every conversation turns into a fight. But do you know what the most silent and perhaps most common error is that 99% of couples fall into? It's the one we talked about briefly before, listening to respond. This is the habit of spending the entire time your partner is talking inside your own head, crafting your rebuttal, preparing your defense, or waiting for your turn to speak. It is the absolute opposite of connection. It is a debate. And in a relationship, if one person wins the debate, the relationship itself loses. Many of the women I advise tell me they can physically see this happen. They see their partner's jaw tighten, they see their eyes glaze over, and they just know that they've lost them. That person is no longer listening to understand they are preparing for battle. So if these are the problems, what is the solution? The solution is a practice, a skill. It's called active listening. And I want to be very clear. This is more than just being quiet while your partner talks. That's just passive hearing. Active listening is a full-body, full-mind experience. It's a conscious choice to focus all your energy on receiving your partner's message. Let's break it down into 3 practical, specific steps that you can start using tonight. Step 1. Create the space. You cannot have a meaningful conversation when the TV is on, your phone is buzzing, and the kids are running around. Active listening requires a sacred space. This doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a conscious decision. For example, you could say, hey, what you're saying sounds really important to me. Can we sit on the couch for 10 minutes after the kids are in bed, without our phones, so I can give you my full attention? This single sentence signals to your partner, you are my priority. I am here for you. It's a powerful act of love. Step 2. Listen with more than your ears. Once you're in that space, your job is not just to hear the words. Your job is to become a detective of your partner's inner world. Watch their body language. Are their shoulders tense? Are they avoiding eye contact? Hear the tone of their voice. Is there sadness beneath their anger? Is there fear beneath their frustration? The words are only one part of the message. The real communication is often happening in the nonverbal cues. Your goal is to listen so intently that you begin to understand the feeling behind the words. Step 3. The validation loop. This is the most critical and game-changing part of the entire process. After your partner has shared a piece of their mind, your job is not to agree, disagree, or solve. Your job is to validate and reflect. It sounds like this. First, you summarize. Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that you're feeling incredibly overwhelmed at work, and when I asked you to take out the trash, it felt like one more person demanding something from you. Second, you validate the emotion. That makes total sense. I can see why you would feel that way. Let me repeat that because it's so important. You are not saying you are right. You are saying your feeling is valid from your perspective. This is the magic key. It tells your partner that they don't have to fight to be understood. You have already crossed the bridge to their side of the island. You get it. Only after you have completed this loop can you then share your own perspective using I statements. For example, from my perspective, I was feeling overwhelmed with the house, and I felt alone in it. See the difference? You're not saying you never help, you're saying I felt alone. You are sharing your experience, not launching an accusation. Imagine your relationship is a garden. These destructive patterns, the fixing, the defending, are like weeds. Active listening is the water and sunlight. It's what allows trust and intimacy to grow. This is not easy at first. It will feel awkward. You will have to consciously stop yourself from your old habits of interrupting or defending. But like any skill, the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. I've had clients who decided to practice this for just 15 minutes a day. Maybe on a Tuesday night, they would set a timer. For 7.5 minutes, one person talks, and the other person's only job is to actively listen and validate. Then they switch. Many of them have told me that this simple, structured exercise completely revolutionized their relationship. It felt strange at first, but it soon became the safest, most intimate part of their week. It was the space where they could finally take off their armor and just be seen. What we've talked about today is a roadmap. It's a guide to help you find your way back to each other. It begins with recognizing the patterns that are pushing you apart. And it blossoms when you replace them with the conscious, loving practice of active listening. It's about choosing connection over being right. It's about making your partner feel seen, heard, and valued above all else. You have the power to change the dance. You can be the one to introduce a new step, a step of empathy, validation, and true understanding. I hope this has been helpful for you. This work isn't easy, but your relationship is worth it. If you found value in this conversation today, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps this message reach more people who might need to hear it. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is the biggest communication challenge you face? Sharing your experience can help so many others feel less alone. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey today. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other.